Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are going to be going over all of my favorites from 2019. This is going to be a try-on. So I'm going to go through my face of try-on as we go through every product and tell you guys why they were my favorites. My 2-year giveaway is going on right now, so be sure to check that out. And let's just go ahead and hop in. So to get started, we're obviously going to start with primer. I already put one of my favorite primers on. It is the No Pore Blem Primer. I got this in a BoxyCharm box, and it is like the perfect consistency to be able to use all over your face. It is, I would say it's between something like a primerizer and like a Cover FX blurring primer. It's got some tackiness to it, so it holds your foundation in, but it's just a really nice primer. That was my favorite primer of 2019. I've got one other one, and it is the Stay Flawless 15-Hour Primer. I don't know why it took me so long to try this one. I've had this sample forever. I love the stick form of it, and I like to use this for my T-zone area, so it just helps to fill some of those bigger pores that I have in this area. But this stick form just helps me to apply it really easily since I'm just applying it to a smaller area. This is an older release. I just am just now trying it. So of the ones I tried in 2019, this one was my favorite. Now, concealer is kind of hard. There are some categories where I did not find a product that wowed me. And for those, it's going to be a little different. I'm either going to use my 2018 favorite or just my overall favorite, even if I didn't try it in 2019, because to me, when I watch a favorites video of the year, I want it to be something that I could go out and buy and like. So if I'm just like throwing one at you of my favorites that I tried, but none of them was actually that good, like what's the point of that? So for concealer, I am going to do my ColourPop Pretty Fresh Concealer. I didn't try this until 2020, but like so close to 2019, but it did come out in 2019. So we can like squeak it in there. But this is the only concealer that I felt like I really liked. The other ones I felt like I was using, but I wasn't necessarily really enjoying them or like the way that my under eyes looked when I used them. So this is my favorite under eye concealer. This shade's just a little dark for me, so when I use it from now on, I'll probably mix it with something lighter that I have. And I'm using my ColourPop sponge that I just purchased. I would say the Beauty Blender is still my favorite sponge, but this is a good one for a cheaper alternative. Foundation really excites me because I actually found like one of my favorite foundations ever in 2019, and it is the Josie Maran Argan Oil Fluid Foundation. I only have this in a sample, but the samples are like, they're a really good size and you don't need a ton of foundation to use it. So I think I'm going to use Euphoric today. That is RG20. And this one is just perfect. It gives you a dewy finish, but it doesn't really move around throughout the day. It doesn't start to sink into pores or look cakey or anything like that. I just really, really enjoy this. And I also think it has got pretty good coverage to it. So I didn't put any concealer on my face today, so that will kind of show you the coverage too. In terms of face concealer, the Collab one from Sally Beauty is still my favorite. I'm going to do a little bit of setting on my face today, and this is one of the categories where I tried several setting powders this year, and none of them wowed me beyond this Pretty Vulgar one. This was in my 2018 favorites, and it is still my favorite setting powder that I have. It's really fine, so it doesn't sink into fine lines, and it also gives a bit of a blurred effect to where you set your makeup. So that one is still in my favorites, and there's still a ton of product in here too, so I'll have it for a while to use. Now, for highlighter, I want to do that next before I get any more powder on my face, because my favorite highlighter of 2019 is actually a cream product. It is the Shimmering Skin Perfector Liquid Highlighter in Opal. So I just have a sample of this. I actually almost purchased the full size of this, and then I was like, you do not need another full size highlighter in your collection. But I just find that this, if you put it on before you set anything, because you don't want to mix this into powder or it's going to be not very pretty. It just gives a really pretty kind of dewy highlighter glowy look to it. So it's not like crazy reflective, but it's definitely I'm there kind of highlighter. So I felt like that had the best of both worlds. For blush, y'all are gonna crack up. My favorite blush of 2019 is a blush that when I tried, I absolutely did not like it. And it is the Natasha Denona Bloom and Glow palette. I got this in a BoxyCharm as well. And once I figured out the best way to use this, I absolutely love it. I mixed these two together here. They're cream blushes, but I just use it on a regular powder brush. And using this brush, it applies really nice, but it lasts so long throughout the day. And that's what I really love about it. But the color's really pretty too and mixed together. It's just a pretty pink color on your face. So I'm really glad that I gave that a second try because it ended up being my favorite. And then sometimes if I want a little glowier blush to it, I can add this Duo Glow here just to the top. And it's not like a crazy glowy blush, just like a subtle glowy blush, which is the kind of glowy blush that I like. For bronzer, I did not come across any bronzer that wowed me this year, and bronzer honestly to me is a product that is not super exciting to me. I find it necessary for a complete look, but it's just not something that excites me. So for today, I'm going to use one that I have loved for a very long time, and it's the Tarte Park Avenue Princess Bronzer. I just think that this is a really nice, simple bronzer to it. And my favorite from 2019 is still a favorite of mine, and that was the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. So I still love that one, but there you've got a high-end and a drugstore line of bronzers that are really good. Next, we've got setting spray. These two are still my favorites. They are the Morphe Continuous Mist Setting Spray and the Urban Decay All Nighter. I have backups of both of these. I really enjoy both of these. And I actually tried quite a few new setting sprays in 2019, and none of them really wowed me or did anything for me. I don't like the setting sprays that have any kind of glow to them. I like it to leave the makeup the way that I put it on. So like these two that we tried from BoxyCharm, I got the Iconic London Prep Set and Glow and the Farsali Skin Mist. I got both of these in a BoxyCharm box to try, and they add to what your face already looks like. They give it a glowy kind of look, which I don't mind. It's just not what I look for in my setting sprays. So those two are still my favorite setting spray. There you've got a higher end and a drugstore line as well. All right, now we're moving into the favorites of my favorites because we're moving on to eyes. So my favorite eyeshadow primer of 2019 and probably my favorite eyeshadow primer ever is the MAC Paint Pot. I have it in Painterly. And I just love this. I don't know why it took me so long to try this. Everyone talks about this. This is like one of the original eyeshadow primers. And I just tried it this year. But I just love, I don't know. First of all, the product is great. But I also love that it's in the pot. It's like the amount that I use to cover my finger is the amount that I need to put on my eyes. So I don't have like excess left over because I'm squeezing it out of a tube and I don't know how much to put on it. For brows, it is the Brow Styler from Benefit. I have never gotten so many compliments on my brows than when I use this product. And while it's not my favorite to apply because it's two-step and I just like to get things moving on. And sometimes two steps is just too much. It does leave like just a really pretty, natural but defined kind of brow because of the two different products that you're using. So you've got this kind of waxy but colored part that is the first step. And the second step, you've got this little powder here with this little tiny doe foot applicator, I guess I would call it. It's not a brush. But you're able to precisely apply the powder with it. Defined but natural. And for a brow setting product, I still love my Ready Set Brow from Benefit. And I do believe that I've got a full size of this for when I'm done with this, but I've been using this forever. And this one, it's like it it sets it and it keeps things in place, but it doesn't give like that sticky, crunchy kind of look to it. So now to move on to my favorite eyeshadow palette of 2019, and it was the Alma palette from Amy Hearts Beauty. This is a collab with Amy Loves Makeup, and I just think it was the most beautiful, curated, thought out palette of 2019, and I reach for this so often. So I'm going to do just kind of a quicker look with it today, maybe a little bit more on the neutral side. We'll see. So I'm going to start out with Bloom, which is this shade right here. You know, I would also say that this is the indie brand of 2019 that has made the most improvements. I've been using Amy Hearts Beauty since 2018, when I think she just got started in 2018. Yes, I believe so. And I mean, the growth and improvements that she's made to her shadows has been phenomenal this year. This is probably one brand that I would definitely recommend trying to you. Then I'm going to go in with Inspiration, which is this shade right here. So while I'm doing this eye look, I'll tell you about my favorite brushes of 2019. For some reason, it took me, gosh, how many years have I been watching YouTube videos and hearing about Sigma brushes? I mean, probably 8 or 9. Took me that many years to try out Sigma brushes. Why? I don't know. They are my absolute favorite brushes that I have ever used. This year I made 2 different Sigma purchases, and I probably ended up with, it might be around 20 Sigma brushes, and I love them all. They are really good quality, but they're also not just the quality of it, but the shape of them. I am so in love with them. I'm going to go back in with Bloom, and I'm actually going to take this Sigma brush. This is the E47. It's a shader crease brush. And I'm going to take Bloom and just define it a little bit more on this inner corner area. This is what I use this brush for most, and it is the perfect shape to pop a color in this inner crease area here. And I did just get this brush. This is the Powder Sweep F06, and it works really good for sweeping away eyeshadow. So I've been using that recently. Let's see. I'm going to take a little bit of Taurus, which is this shade right here, and see if I can deepen up the outer V just a bit without bringing too much of that navy color onto there. Just bringing a little bit of depth. Then I'm going to go back in with that same brush and Inspiration, which is the shade I put in the crease, and just bring that color back to that outer V. For the lower lash line, I'm going to take my Sigma E21 smudger brush, and I'm going to take Inspiration, and I'm going to dab this across the whole lower lash line. And then I'm going to go back in with my E47 brush and that Bloom shade and kind of blend that out. I think I'm going to do a little something different for the lid today. I'm going to take Bloom, which is the shade I used in the transition, and I am going to put that across the whole lid, and then I'm going to use one of the inner corner duochrome shades on top of it. So kind of creating my own look. I think I want Heavenly Petal, which is this shade right here. So Heavenly has a little more purple to it, where Petal has got that more pinky to it. So that's the one that I want on the lid. So I'm just going to take a little definer brush here and then top Bloom with Petal. So you get a different shade of shimmer shade by tapping one of the mattes with one of the duochromes. And then I'm going to go in with Inspiration and just kind of blend right where those meet. They already blended pretty well, but just to make sure it's fully blended out. For Tightline, the Ulta Gel Liner, I got back to using this year, and they are really good, guys. Not just for the price, but they are a more affordable gel liner as well. But I would compare these in terms of quality to the Urban Decay one. I still love the Urban Decay ones. Moving on to gel liners, the ColourPop gel liners are still my all-time favorites. There was nothing that really compared to these. They've got the matte, they've got a variety of matte bold shades. They work very well and stay the longest of any gel liner that I've used. And I just love them. The only thing I don't like about this is they seem to dry out kind of quickly. Now I haven't, so you can see some of them are the older ones and some of them are the newer ones. So I haven't had any of these dry out yet, but they are newer to my collection as well. So we'll have to see how long those take to dry out. But the only thing that came close to it this year were the LA Girl Shockwave neon eyeliners, and I just really liked the colors that they had in here, and they do work pretty well. I like to use a base coat of a ColourPop gel liner before I put one of these on, but these are really pretty and it gives you a couple more colors to try. And these are really, really, really affordable. For today, I'm going to stick with a ColourPop one because I have one of these that matches what I put on today, and I'm going to use Boost. I just got this one in my last ColourPop haul, and it's a bright pink magenta shade. You can see how bold those apply on the first time on the waterline. I don't even think my Urban Decay ones go that nice on the waterline. For liquid liner, my all-time favorite and still favorite of this year is the Lorac Front of the Line Pro Liquid Liner. If you have not tried this one, you need to try it. I have got, I think, 2 backups of this right now. I always have a backup. It is my favorite liquid liner ever. And I mean, can you guys see this? You can. Like this right here are my, well, not that one. This right here are my current liquid liners that I'm using. And this is just what I'm using right now. I have tried even more than what is in here, and this still continues to come out on top. Now, there is one liquid liner that came close to it, and because of all the colors, it is my favorite of 2019, and they are the ColourPop liquid liners. I also have it in white, and I love the opaqueness of that white liner. I have not found that in anything else. And then I also got red and blue. Let's see how the blue one looks. It looks okay. I am going to use this one today. I use the Lorac one all the time. That looks pretty good. For mascara, you know I love when things surprise me. This is not one that I thought I was going to like at all. It is the Trace Good Vibes Mascara. I'm not really a super fan of Trace, so when we got this in a BoxyCharm, I'm like, maybe I'll try it sometime. And for some reason, I ended up trying it. Probably because it has this nifty little eyelash curler on it. But the mascara is really good. I feel like it gives me really full lashes, length, and my bottom lashes look like I have them when I use this. They're like so minimal that if a mascara can do that, it's a pretty good mascara. And then moving on to lashes, the ColourPop Falsies in Dame. Dame is the only ones that I've tried so far, and I've used these a couple times, but they are my favorite. They are so easy to apply, and they're just really light and fluttery. I use my Duo Lash Glue, the green one. This has been my favorite forever. But there's something about the shape of them that just makes them really easy to put on. So I've got those on. How pretty are those? I just love them so much. They're probably a lash that I would replace, and I don't replace a lot of lashes because I like to try new ones, but I would probably replace those. So we just have one product left, and it is lipstick. This one was so hard for me because, and I was trying to figure out why, because usually I use a lot of lipsticks. I was on a lipstick no-buy in 2019, so that's why I didn't try a lot of lipsticks. So I was thinking, what is the lipstick that I reach for the most, that I know is not going to let me down? They are the ColourPop Lippy Sticks. These are so great. My favorite ones are, well, my favorite is Aquarius, and it's a cream lipstick. I also love Bound, which I don't think you can get anymore, and Can't Wait is a matte X one. I love that as well. All of the formulas are really good, I think. This Aquarius is my favorite shade, though. I use it so much. I almost purchased a new one when I made my last ColourPop order, but then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to purchase things this year if I don't need them, except for eyeshadow. So that is Aquarius, just a really pretty a little bit pinky gray nude shade, and I love it. These I keep right here on my desk because I reach for them so often. So there it is, guys, my favorites from 2019. I would love to know in the comments what your favorites have been, or if we share any of the same favorites. Don't forget to enter the giveaway before you leave. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!